Queen Camilla has been described as a calming presence in King Charles III's life. But it hasn't always been that way. From wedding day jitters to Charles's annoyance over a pen, our body language expert breaks down the couple's entire relationship history. Although King Charles III was initially discouraged from pursuing a romantic relationship with Camilla, Queen Consort, he seemed interested in her from very early on. This was especially evident in the 1970s when Charles was introduced to Camilla at a polo match. The two reportedly hit it off and continued to bump into each other near the pitch. In one such instance, a photographer snapped a candid photo of the couple chatting away. According to body language expert Jess Ponce III, their body language showed just how much they got along. While speaking to the list about the photograph, Ponce revealed, both individuals exude a sense of comfort and interest through relaxed poses. He leans back, arm supported by a rail, left shoulder towards Camilla, and right shoulder outward in an open, attentive posture. Apparently, Charles's cool stance had Camilla on the hook. As Ponce put it, with her hands in coat pockets, leaning on a car, she is completely engrossed. She appears enamored, while he attempts to play it cool, revealing an underlying interest. But how mutual was this attraction? Ponce added, their focus on each other is evident. Following that initial flirtation, King Charles III and Queen Camilla were not able to have much of a public relationship, at least for a while. Charles married Princess Diana, and Camilla wed Andrew Parker Bowles. For a time, they each focused on building their respective families and enjoying time with their children. However, as the years went on, the two fell back into each other's arms.
You never know what's going to happen next.
Soon enough, Charles and Camilla were granted divorces from their respective partners, and in 1999, the couple debuted their relationship on the steps of the Ritz Hotel in London. While commenting on photos of the event, Ponce noted just how tense Camilla seemed, saying, "Camilla wears a concerned, uncomfortable expression. She is focused with downward eyes and pursed lips, pointing at something in the distance. Clearly distracted and out of her element, she is not attentive to Charles." Interestingly though, Ponce also claimed that the future king appeared fully attentive to his future wife in this moment, stating, "In contrast, Charles is wholly focused on her, facing her with a supportive hand over his heart, revealing his enamored and devoted stance." Once Charles and Camilla finally went public with their relationship, a lot of the pressure was off. The two were able to focus more on each other and less on the opinions of the press. This was particularly evident in 2008 when the couple headed to Scotland for an official visit. During their trip, Charles and Camilla were spotted having what seemed to be a grand old time. As those famous Scottish winds blew during one royal event, the dynamic duo appeared to be laughing at the weather.
We had a lot of fun doing this.
According to Ponce, this sense of good-naturedness says a lot about Charles and Camilla's relationship. He told the list, "Charles displays an exuberant, starry-eyed demeanor, akin to a teenager in love. His focus on Camilla is unwavering, expressing his joy." As for Camilla, Ponce claimed that she seemed incredibly connected to Charles in this moment, despite all the pressures surrounding the public appearance. Ponce noted, "Camilla leans into him, reciprocating his affection, though her awareness of cameras introduces a hint of caution. An awkward expression on her face suggests unfamiliarity with public attention." On February 10, 2005, Charles's relationship with Camilla changed forever. The pair announced their intentions to wed in 2 months. Just hours after making this announcement, Charles and his bride-to-be were photographed wearing matching scarlet formal wear and scratching their faces at the same time. According to Ponce, this slight fidgeting may have indicated some of the nervousness that the couple was feeling after sharing their big news. Considering how much blowback they received for their unconventional love story, we would not be surprised if they were feeling a bit tense. Ponce told the list, "Camilla touches her face, indicating a degree of self-consciousness. Surprisingly, Charles, usually self-assured, appears concerned and uncomfortable, touching his face and looking downward." Of course, just because the couple looked uncomfortable does not mean that they were unsure about each other. Ponce observed that the engagement may have finally given Camilla a sense of belonging in the royal echelon. He told the list, "She showcases a newfound confidence." In fairy tales, weddings are perfectly orchestrated events that demonstrate a couple's deep love for one another. In real life, though, these ceremonies do not always go down without a hitch. When Camilla married Charles on April 9, 2005, romance was certainly the goal, but as Ponce told the list, the couple might have experienced something of a disconnect as they walked down the aisle. Observing a photograph of the couple heading to the altar, Ponce noted just how separate they seemed in this moment. He revealed, "This photo is an interesting dichotomy of two people who are confident with themselves and each other, yet are out of step with one another. Literally, despite their confident appearances, their out-of-sync footsteps suggest a lack of complete connection at this moment. Although Charles and Camilla may not have seemed totally in sync on their wedding, there may have been a good reason for this. As reported by Vanity Fair, Camilla almost skipped the ceremony because she had been struck with a bout of sinusitis. The Queen's friend, Lucia Santa Cruz, told the outlet she literally couldn't get out of bed. Because of this, it's possible that Charles and Camilla seemed off at their wedding because the bride was feeling awful. Although Charles and Camilla certainly had their fair share of pre-wedding jitters, the couple appeared to settle nicely into married life. Following their nuptials, they continued to do their royal duties, and Camilla seemed more comfortable in her skin than ever before. On May 20th, 2005, they headed off to Cornwall, where they took a boat, visited the elderly, and waved at crowds. According to Pansa, the couple's body language on this trip shows just how well they transitioned from dating to married life. While referencing a photograph of the future queen laughing as she stands in front of a plaque, Pansa noted that Camilla seemed much more comfortable in her public position. He told the list, "Camilla laughs freely, at ease with public attention, showcasing her comfort beside the future king."
She's dedicated to the monarchy, and she's made Charles a very happy man.
As for the then Prince of Wales, apparently he remained completely enamored by his new wife. Pansa explained, Charles gazes affectionately at Camilla, presenting a united front. At this moment, they appear harmonious, both comfortable with themselves and each other. Of course, not all moments in a marriage are bound to be easy, and that fact remains true even for the King and Queen of England. One such challenging moment hit Charles and Camilla on a trip to Northern Ireland's Hillsborough Castle when the King's pen failed to work properly. In a clip shared by The Guardian, Charles noticed that his pen was leaking. Luckily for Charles, Camilla was there to swoop in and rectify the situation. She removed the flawed pen and sought an adequate replacement. According to Pansa, Camilla's quick thinking might be one of the reasons why she is such a good partner for Charles. He explained, when he becomes upset over a leaking pen, Camilla remains calm. Seeking her assistance, Charles subtly signals with his body language for her to handle the situation, and she steps in, effectively taking care of what needs to get done. This exchange clearly shows just how much Charles relies on Camilla to keep him calm in moments of tension. He may have lost his temper after discovering just how leaky the pen truly was, but his wife knew exactly how to support him in this tricky situation. Although the pen incident represented a fairly minor crisis for King Charles III, the monarch has faced a number of more painful moments over the course of his life. This was especially true when his beloved father, Prince Philip, died on April 9, 2021. Philip's tragic passing undoubtedly left Charles feeling crushed.
My dear Papa was a very special person.
But according to Pansa, the king was likely able to rely on Camilla in this time of great need. In a photograph of Camilla standing by Charles's side at Philip's funeral, Pansa analyzed the distinct differences in the couple's respective body language. He told the list, while Charles shows pain, Camilla remains steadfast, holding his arm close for reinforcement. Apparently, this goes to show just how much Charles relies on Camilla. Pansa added, Camilla displays strength for her husband in this poignant image. Her sturdy, upright posture provides physical and emotional support to Charles. This photo transcends their identity as a couple, portraying a mourning son and his supportive wife. In other words, this photograph demonstrates the calming effect that Camilla seems to have on her husband. She is by his side as he grapples with powerful emotions, and he clearly trusts her enough to be vulnerable by her side. The fact that Charles and Camilla ever became King and Queen of England is, in some ways, quite shocking. In the 1990s, the couple was incredibly unpopular, and as recently as 2021, a survey by Newsweek found that most people in Great Britain did not want Charles to become king at all, preferring that he abdicate in favor of the younger, more popular Prince William. Despite all this, however, Charles and Camilla were officially crowned into their new positions on May 6, 2023. According to Pansa, photos of the pair taken after the ceremony reveal just how proud they were of having made it so far. He told the list, capturing a moment of triumph, this photo reflects the accomplishment of King Charles and Camilla. Amidst the masses, they are entirely immersed in each other, conveying a sense of personal and professional achievement. If it was ever unlikely for the pair to end up in this position, Pansa said that they seemed to know it. He added, their gazes, smiles, and posture indicate that, against all odds, they have achieved their long-desired position.